Good morning, Year 8. It's Friday. So, as usual on a Friday, we're not going to have a normal curriculum lesson. We're just going to do a few different tasks that are maybe a little bit more fun and interesting and will make you think. But before we do all of that, I've got to right a wrong from yesterday. Some of you will know, if you read my comment on the stream, that I actually made a mistake on one of the questions, one of the bearing questions, question 4. I made the mistake because I made an assumption, and there's a lesson to be learned there in making sure that you check carefully the question and don't assume something that is true that isn't true. My assumption was to think that Liverpool was due east of Dublin. In other words, that this angle from north round to this line here was 90 degrees, but it isn't. These two only add up to 87. Therefore, east is across there horizontally another 3 degrees on from there. So if I just write 3 degrees there, like so, and I'm going to need to use that fact to answer these questions here, the ones that I got wrong last lesson. So, how do I proceed? Well, a few lessons ago, Monday I think it was, we did a lesson on parallel lines. And if I draw on a line from Liverpool going across here like so, that is parallel to this line here, then I make a kind of a squashed Z shape, a very squashed Z. And because of the rules of angles and parallel lines, I know that this angle here must be the same as this angle here. You can see if you draw it at different Zs, some squashed ones, some really long ones, doesn't really matter, then these two angles here are always the same. They're called alternate angles, which I think I mentioned in the video that you watched earlier in the week. So that's 3 degrees. Okay, now if that's 3 degrees, the important thing that we're going to be able to use to answer these questions is to realise that the angle from this line here up to there, up to that line there, must be 35 degrees. Okay, and that's the key fact that's going to allow me to find the bearing of Belfast from Liverpool, and hence the bearing of Liverpool from Belfast. So, the bearing of Belfast from Liverpool is, I'll draw it in a different colour so you can see it nice and clear, is this angle all the way around here like so. Okay, so this angle all the way around here is made up of the angle all the way around to this line here, which, if you recall, is parallel to this line here. So that angle round to there must be 270 degrees. That's just round to there. And then the extra bit is the 35. So if I add the 35 and the 270 together, I get the correct answer, which I showed you last time, that the bearing of Belfast from Liverpool is actually 305 degrees. Now, what about the bearing of Liverpool from Belfast? The bearing of Liverpool from Belfast. Well, I'm not going to show you it on the diagram. I'm going to do it the way I showed you last time, or talked about last time, which is if you've got the bearing in one direction and you want the bearing in the other direction, all you do is add 180 to that or subtract 180, depending upon whether this start number is more or less than 180. In this case, because it's more than 180, I'm going to take 180 off that value, and if I do that, I get the bearing Liverpool from Belfast is 125 degrees. So that angle there would be 125 degrees. Right, that's that sorted. What about today then? Well, I have put on the assignment 2 documents, which basically they're just 2 questions. And I would like you to have a go at them. And what I will do is, later today, I will post another video with my solutions to these. They come from the NRICH website, which is University of Cambridge's site for people that really enjoy maths and want to take it a little bit further than just normal sort of school maths. But the puzzles they make you think, and they're quite good for you. You know I'm keen on this sort of maths. So let me just show you the 2 puzzles. The first one is called Coins, and it's about a man. He's got some coins in his pocket, normal British coins. So it could be a 1p, a 2p, a 5p, a 10p, a 20p, or 50p, or a pound, or something like that. He's got some coins in his pocket. He's got 5 coins in his pocket. We don't know what the coins are at the start of the question. Okay, we've got to work out what they are. And to do that, we are given 5 clues. Okay, so I'm not going to read them out now, but you need to read through those clues and see if you can start to narrow down the coins that he might have in his pocket. I said I'm not going to read them all, but I'll just give you an example of one of them. It says, he cannot afford an item costing exactly £1. Okay, that gives you a clue as to the 5 coins in his pocket. But you'll need to sort of, like a logic puzzle, you'll need to work through those clues and see if you can narrow down the coins that he's got. Don't be afraid to sort of trial and error. Just assume the coins he's got and see why it doesn't work. I mean, you might be lucky, you might guess it right on the first attempt. But if you don't guess it right, it's not a wasted effort, because it will tell you something about the question. It might give you a little bit more insight into the kind of coins that you're looking for. You can do all the work in your book or on a bit of rough paper if you think it's going to be messy. It probably is going to be messy, because it really is trial and error. And don't worry if you can't get the solution. I would just want you to try and do it, and I'll show you the solution later. The second one, which is probably a little bit easier to get into, is this one here. This one's a little bit easier to get into because it gives you some steps to try and follow. Okay, and you just follow the steps and get some answers. What you're trying to actually do is find the trick to knowing what the numbers were from somebody just telling you the answer. So we've got a set of instructions here to follow for a pair of numbers that you choose at the start. You think of 2 numbers that are under 10. It doesn't say they can be the same. It doesn't say they have to be different, but you just pick 2 whole numbers under 10, and then you follow this set of instructions, and at the end of the process you will have an answer. Okay, and it turns out that you can look at that answer and very quickly work out what the original 2 numbers were, or according to this you can. Right, so what you need to do is to try and work out what it is about that answer that means that you can easily see what the original 2 numbers were. Again, it doesn't matter if you don't find the answer to that. Just engage with the puzzle. Try out some examples for yourself and see how you do. So if you spend, I don't know, about half an hour to 45 minutes on those 2 puzzles, I will post a video later with the solutions. I'm looking forward to having a go at them myself, and then that will be it for this week. So have a lovely weekend, and I will speak to you again next week.